Hello, Poop Shoot. I'm back again. I think it's been a little while since we've had a toy unboxing reveal. I can't remember what the last thing was. Yeah, but I can't remember anything anymore for shit. So it could have been last week and I still wouldn't know. But anyways, I got something really cool for you today. This just showed up last week maybe, and it was a pre-order. I had put my money down for a few months back maybe, and it wasn't supposed to be released until sometime in May, but it must have been, for once lately, something has been ahead of schedule, right? I don't know what is happening with the world, but everything seems to be lacking and delayed and not available. We're still living in this post-COVID nonsense that has turned the world upside down, and I don't know why. I can't understand it. But anyways, better not get me off on that tangent because we could be here all day. So I did a reveal maybe 3 or 4 videos ago, I think, that was different from my normal stuff. It wasn't Transformers, it was something else. It was my other favorite cartoon from the 1980s alongside Transformers. And I saw this come up in my, I don't know if they sent me an email from my first purchase or whatever, but I saw it and I was like, I have to have it. I'm not getting into this series like I have with Transformers, but I think I might get the odd thing here and there when I see something special. And I saw something special. So, without further ado, from the G.I. Joe Classified series, a new release, Clutch and his vehicle, the V.A.M.P. Clutch is one of the original G.I. Joes. His first toy, he was packaged with the V.A.M.P. in 1982. And G.I. Joe was based more on a toy line to start, kind of like Transformers was in Japan. And they made the cartoon to suit the toy line. And that's what happened with G.I. Joe as well. So Clutch's toy was first released in 1982 with a bunch of the original G.I. Joe toys. And then the cartoon started up in 1983. So Clutch was very involved with vehicles. His primary role with the G.I. Joes was as a driver, particularly the V.A.M.P., but he could probably drive anything, and also a mechanic. So he was always working on the vehicles. He was and he was very talented at what he did. He was a good driver. He was a good mechanic, but he was also a soldier as well. So he could mix it up in the field, whether it's behind the wheel of the V.A.M.P. or outside of the V.A.M.P. on foot, sort of thing. So his real name is Lance Steinberg, and he was a bit of a joker and he didn't take things too seriously, even though he was being shot at and whatever. He was kind of kind of loose, and so that rubbed some people the wrong way, but he still got the job done. He was still a great Joe, but he wasn't quite as serious as, say, Duke or Hawk or whatever sort of thing. So now let's. I never had. Oh, sorry. In terms of the V.A.M.P., the V.A.M.P. was one of the Joes, like the backbone of their vehicular fleet. It was. Had like a big ass V12 engine. It was 4-wheel drive, so it had speed. It could handle hard terrain. It had good range, and it was also armed with dual machine guns on the back in a kind of a spinning turret, and also on the front it had a single machine gun sticking out of the hood, sort of thing. So it had armaments, and it could also tow things. It could tow gun turrets and stuff like that. So it had good towing capabilities as well. So it was kind of a workhorse for the Joe fleet. And Clutch was a workhorse in the garage working on these things. So let's get a look at Clutch and the V.A.M.P.'s original toy from the G.I. Joe line back in 1982. Not too shabby, eh? G.I. Joe vehicles were some of the best toys ever made, I feel. They just looked good, and they were durable, and they were easy to play with, and they always had some sort of details in them that made them really cool and interesting. And I never had the original V.A.M.P. This is my first V.A.M.P. But it was one of the vehicles when I would go to other friends' houses and they had one, I'd always be playing with a V.A.M.P. There were a handful of toys that I would always go for, and the V.A.M.P. was included in that batch. And yeah, it was just a really neat looking toy. And Cobra actually had kind of, I guess, what would be the answer to the V.A.M.P. It was called the Stinger. It was based on, I think the toy was based on the exact same chassis and wheels and everything, but there's, of course, with Cobra, it was black with red missiles. It had this missile rack on the back that could spin that had, I think, 4 or 5 missiles on it. And I did have the original toy, well, I still do, of the Cobra Stinger. So I didn't have the V.A.M.P., but I kind of had Cobra's version of it. And it was one of my most played with toys of my own sort of thing. So yeah, but anyways, we're not going to do any time lapse with this because there's no transforming involved, but we are going to open it up, take this thing out, see what it looks like, and yeah, and then we'll go from there. All right, so Clutch and his V.A.M.P. Look at that artwork on the end there. Got his big fucking wrench. Yeah, baby. Gonna fix some shit. The box when it showed up, it was a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Well, not a lot bigger, I guess, but it was bigger than I thought it was gonna be. But I guess he is stuffed in here with the vehicle, Clutch. So yeah, so it comes with I guess some sort of instructions. Looks like you just have to put some accessories on and some wheels and stuff. So let's Hasbro Pulse, they make some really good stuff. And it's packaged very well too. Like, this is all very well protected. I would buy tons of stuff from the G.I. Joe Classified series if I could, but I don't make that much money, so I gotta just pick and choose, pick my spots, so to speak. So there's the tires. Nothing else in there. Nope. Then we got Clutch. I'm always nervous, like there's something taped somewhere and I'm gonna fucking throw it out by accident, right? So there is Clutch. He's looking pretty sick. And like you saw on his G1 toy, like, sorry, I call it G1, that's more Transformers, but like he was just like a pretty generic looking soldier, like all green uniform, like nothing really distinctive about him, you know. And I found the earliest Joes were kind of like that, unless they had some sort of gimmick, right? Like, and then as you saw, G.I. Joe cartoon kind of advanced over the years. Like they got into really elaborate kind of suits and weapons and gadgets and stuff, right? So they did become a lot more distinct over the years compared to like when they first came out, that original run of characters. So there is Mr. Clutch. Removable helmet, it looks like. Yep. He's got some sweet hair. I wish I had locks like that. And he has got a holster here where he can put his gun. And that is Clutch. So, let's get this bad boy out. It's interesting plastic. It just kind of rips. I like it. Yeah, so this is a good increase in size compared to the original G.I. Joe toys. Like, the old one would have been like probably maybe that long. Like, so the scaling on this, well, you can tell by the figures, the old ones would stand maybe, you know, halfway up where Clutch is now, sort of thing, right? So this classified scale and detail is just amazing. Here we go with the foot locker. It's gonna have the accessories. Okay, so there's the gun turret. I think that's all that was in that one. Nope. You didn't want to come along, friend? Okay, meh. So this just goes on there. Oh, we may have a guest star very soon. Somebody's on approach. What is this? Who cares? Ooh. Well, this is an interesting assortment of stuff, because it looks like Clutch also has some Wapundas. Look at this. Shotgun. He's also got this helmet with a sick visor and some teeth on there. Well, that is pretty cool. And then we have the accessories. So these not sure where these are supposed to sit. Like, it looks like they're supposed to lock into something, but I don't see anything for them to lock into. Does this have pictures? Oh, they sit on the rack. Yeah, so the ammo feeds in there, and the little case sits in that little tray. I kind of wondered what that was for, because it's obviously not something for somebody to stand on, because it's under the gun and it's at the front of the gun. It's a good way to get yourself shot. Oops, bullets are facing the wrong way. Ugh. Shit. Yeah, so we got those on the little rack down there. What else do we need to put on? Oh, it's got a tow cable at the front. Okay, so these gas cans go in the back rack. Shovel. Clamps on there. I'm guessing. Okay, so those are accessories for Clutch. The axe goes in here. That's cool. That's very cool. The fire extinguisher. Ah, there's a little clip behind the seats here. I wish they told us to put the fire extinguisher in first. Goes to the gun turret. I suppose we could just take that off. Shit. Fire extinguisher secured. Meh. Okay. This thing goes across the hood. What are these things? Where do they go? think this is the gun here, the front mounted gun. It goes right there. So these little things clamp onto the bars here. I'm guessing to provide some sort of a handhold for getting in and out. And then we got lights. Two go up here. And the third goes down here on the front bar. And I guess the wrench and stuff. I don't see the wrench anywhere on here. Yeah, so just must keep it on his person, maybe. Keep it on his person. So there we go. We have now assembled the G.I. Joe Classified version of Clutch and the V.A.M.P. Beautiful. So what'd you think of that? Pretty slick. I'm very excited about this vehicle. It's big, but it's small enough that it's not too big, right? So this is somewhere I can easily find a spot for in my man cave, although it is getting tight. So it's kind of like the perfect size thing for me to buy for my first G.I. Joe Classified vehicle. Now, I'm very new to the G.I. Joe Classified series. I've noticed it for years. I just haven't pulled the trigger on it up until recently. So together with the 5 characters I've already got, Clutch will be a solid add as a 6th, and to add my first vehicle to is very exciting. Like I said, I'm not going to go crazy on G.I. Joe Classified. If I find a good deal every once in a while, if I find a new character comes out who was one of my favorites, I might pull the trigger. But don't be expecting a lot of G.I. Joe Classified videos. If somebody wants to send me millions of dollars, hell, I'll buy everything and I'll put them on my YouTube channel, no problem. But as things are now, we're going to be few and far between. But getting to the V.A.M.P, very solidly built. It's got some heft to it. It's got a lot of detail with, and they're not stickers too. They're embossed right on. So that's awesome. So they'll always be there. Lots of little detail with all the stickers, the writing and all the different indicators on the vehicle. Of course, lots of little details with, the axe, the gas, the ammunition for the guns, all the little things I put on. As you can see in the pictures, hood opens up for the engine inside. It's got the tow hook, it's got the tow, the tow cable, and then it's got the little tow hooks on the front. The side view mirrors actually have reflective, some sort of reflective surface in there, so you can actually look at yourself in the mirror. The dashboard, as you saw from that picture, has lots of detail. Clutch, even with his tattoos and stuff like that, has lots of detail. Probably can't see it, it's too low, but there are shocks built into it as well. And also the front window can come down for visibility if it gets shattered or whatever, right? So lots of cool little details on this vehicle, and also very solidly built. And the tires they are rubber, so they do have a bit of flex on them, and they're big and they're beautiful. So this, like I said, for a first vehicle, and I found there is a spot on Clutch's waist to put his wrench in a holster. So that is where it goes. So as a first G.I. Joe classified vehicle, I don't think I could have made a better choice than the V.A.M.P. So glad I bought it. Hope you enjoyed. Like I said, don't expect too many G.I. Joe classified videos in the future, but hopefully I will at least be able to keep them going the odd time here and there. But for now, I am very, very, very fortunate and very happy to have added this beautiful piece of toy goodness to my man cave. Yo, Joe.
Meow.